All right, so as I said, when I discovered the quadrumodal was the biggest theory in history. It is the biggest theory in history. But my mom, right off the bat, she assumed I had schizophrenia, and she said, "This is why your shot got messed up. It was because you started to become mentally ill in high school." No, it was a shoot away machine, and I'm going to get to that. But again, what happened, the main problem was in high school, after my shot got messed up with the shoot away machine, and my dad was telling me to do the wrong thing. My dad got frustrated, and he said, "Fuck it, I give up. I can't help you anymore." Even though he's the one who messed up my shot. And I'll go into details about that a little more, but I can't go into too much details because I don't want to make good shooters think. But once my shot got messed up, then my dad's like, I can't help you anymore. And then my grandpa comes in, but I'm like, "Dad, I need your help." Because I didn't even know my shot was messed up. He's the one who's telling me, "Your shot looks terrible. Your shot's terrible. You're shooting square." I didn't know because I was always unconscious. That's why I was so good. But it was because I was picking the ball off the rack that my shot got messed up. So then my grandpa comes in, and I'm like, "Dad, I need your help." And my grandpa's like, "Ryan, everything is energy. Everything is the flow. You can't make things happen. You have to accept. If your dad says no, you have to accept it." So then my mom's listening. My mom goes, "Yeah, Ryan, you have to accept it." And as I said, my mom was frustrated with my shot. My mom was like, "Ryan, what the fuck is wrong with you? You're a shooter." She went to my game. I was starting point guard varsity as a freshman, but she's like, "You're a shooter. What's wrong with you? You can't handle the pressure or something? Get your head straight. What's wrong with you? Get your head straight." She didn't know that it was a shoot away machine. She didn't know it was my dad that was the one messing it up. She thought there was something wrong with me. So then I'm like, "Dad, can you please help me?" And my dad's like, "I give up. I can't help you anymore." And my mom's like, "Ryan, you can't make things happen. You have to, when your dad says no, you have to accept it. What are you, fucking 2 years old? You need your daddy, you fucking pussy? I'm embarrassed to have a pussy for a son. You need your fucking daddy to help you with your shot?" Well, my dad was the one who messed up my shot. So if they could just figure this out and then just change, okay, it was a tragic situation. Now let's just move on. So I discovered theory of everything, and I showed my mom and dad. And my mom goes, "Oh my God, you have schizophrenia." Because my dad was one, because I showed my dad was one who's like, "This isn't the theory." Because I said, "Hey Dad, I discovered theory of everything." And I said, "This isn't a delusion." I said, "I know most people who discover theory of everything have a delusion, but this is actually legitimate." And then so I showed my dad, and my dad was like, "This is a delusion. You have schizophrenia." And I intentionally said this isn't a delusion so he wouldn't say that. And I was like, "No, Dad, this isn't a delusion. I discovered theory of everything." He was like, "This is a delusion." And then he showed my mom, and he told my mom, "Ryan has schizophrenia." And my mom was like, "Oh my God, I knew it. Oh, you need to start taking medicine." And then my mom said, "This is why your shot got messed up, because you started becoming mentally ill." This was before I ever told them about the shoot away machine. So, as I said, so back to my situation with my ex. As I mentioned, at the beginning of the time when she was pregnant, at first off, she didn't like me to begin with. I ended up getting her pregnant, but she already didn't like me. She already didn't respect me. I mentioned that I had got her pregnant, and she already broke up with me right before I got her pregnant. Right at the time I got her pregnant. I got her pregnant, and then she broke up with me. And then she got back with me when she found out she was pregnant. So, that was my mistake. And again, that was because I was looking at things through a Darwinian lens. I wanted to have a baby because I wanted to be superior. And I wasn't seeing things through my grandpa's existential metapsychiatry, seeing everything as energy and seeing everything as one and thinking of myself as a beneficial presence. And, I wasn't discerning. I shouldn't have had a baby with a single mom who's a drug addict. But the thing was, I liked her. She was cool. I liked her. And, and also because, I discovered theory of everything, but because my mom, threw me to the side, my family threw me to the side, this is all I can get. If they would have helped me get back into basketball, I could have got back into basketball and rap. If my mom and dad should have supported me when I discovered theory of everything, I could have been very successful. But instead they threw me to the side, threw me to Kauai, and that's when everything deteriorated. And like I said, I would ask my mom, "Can I talk to Dad?" And my mom would say, "He's never going to talk to you. Don't you remember how you treated him in high school?" And I'm like, "Mom, I figured out what happened. It was a shoot away machine." "Oh my God, you don't take responsibility for anything. Oh my God. You think it's a shoot away machine? You're such a fucking loser. You're such a fucking loser. What happened was you started becoming mentally ill." So that's not what happened. So when I discovered theory of everything, I want to talk to my mom and show her But, she threw me to the side. So at this point, I was, this is just 2022 or whatever. This is when my ex was pregnant. I asked my mom, can you please see me and my ex? My mom was like, no, your dad's never going to see you. He's never going to talk to you again. You have to just accept that. You have to accept it. We're never going to see you. You have to accept that. You're mentally ill. You're never, ever going to see you. You just have to accept that. Because my mom thinks that that's what my grandpa taught. Because my grandpa's like, Ryan, your dad doesn't want to help fix your shot right now. You have to accept that. But the fact of the matter was, it was a tragic situation. I needed help with my shot. My dad was helping me. My dad was like, oh, your shot looks terrible. I'm like, well, can you fix it? He's like, it's no use. If it wasn't for the shoot away machine, none of this would have happened. So my mom's like, we're never going to see you. And my ex wanted to see my mom and dad. So like I said, about 2 months into the pregnancy, my ex, she had asked to see my mom and dad. My mom was like, no, we're never going to see you. And then she told my ex that she wasn't going to see us or meet us. So then my ex was crying. She was like, and I told my ex, well, it's because my mom thinks I'm schizophrenic, but I'm not. And my ex was like, are you schizophrenic? She's crying. So then my ex tells me that she's going to go to the movies, but she really went to a Halloween party. Or she really was going to go to a Halloween party, so she was lying to me. And like I said, I wasn't even that mad. I just was like, she was like, you're mad at me. Because I caught her lying to me, and I was like, I'm not mad. I'm just kind of upset that you lied to me. And then she's like, you're jealous. I'm like, I'm not jealous. I'm just, now I just lost a lot of trust for you, And then, but then after that, like I said, my ex didn't respect me. So she ended up kicking me out of her apartment, even, and because she's the one who was raising her voice, and it woke up her daughter. But then she kicked me out of the apartment, and then I'm texting her because in my mind, I was scared because I'm thinking, my ex has had 3 abortions. That's why she had a short cervix. So I'm thinking, my ex might have an abortion because she just kicked me out of the apartment. She wants to go to a party without me. I don't trust her. She's had 3 abortions before. So I'm texting my ex, hey, how's everything going? How's the baby? And she's not responding to me. And this was the problem. She was not responding to me because she didn't respect me. So I had to wait like a week, and I'm texting her because I'm asking like, is everything okay? Are you thinking of having an abortion? I was asking her that because I was, and people would say that I was crazy. No, I was legitimately concerned because she had 3 abortions before, So then, like I said, later in the pregnancy, she asked, hey, Ryan, can I have play dates? Can my daughter have play dates with your friend Malik's daughter? And I was like, what? This was right before Thanksgiving. And I was supposed to go to Thanksgiving. I was like, what? Do you want to fuck Malik? Like, why would you ask that? And she's like, oh. And I was like, do you love me still? And she's like, I don't love you anymore. I'm not feeling you. So then, later, I asked her like, then later she has me over at her place because she had a threatened miscarriage. And I had to take her to the emergency room. And while I'm taking care of her, I'm sleeping with her. And then I see a bunch of Snapchats from this guy named Jared come on her phone. And she had already been hiding her phone from me. So I knew that she was sexting some other dude. So I was like, so then that happened. And then I was just like, hey, who's this Jared guy? Please don't message him. And then, like I said, I ended up staying, I was trying, because she wanted my mom to help her during the pregnancy because she needed someone to take care of her because she said she's going to be on bed rest. So I'm trying to get a hold of my mom, and my mom, like usual, is not responding to me. My mom is hostile to me. She doesn't like me, and like I said, I would ask my mom, can I please talk to dad? Can I please see you guys one day? And then my mom would be like, Ryan, we don't like you. You don't like us. Why do you want to see people who don't like you? And I'm like, Mom, I don't not like you. I don't like that you guys won't see me. I don't like that you guys are holding a grudge against me. And my mom, she thought that I was mentally ill, and she was like, we don't want to see you. You're mentally ill. You scare us. We're never going to see you. Ryan, just get that through your head. You have to accept that. We're never going to see you again. And she just hung up on me. She just hung up on me because and never would she say, hey, Ryan, how are you doing? If I ever call her, it's, what do you want? Hey, Mom, can I please talk to you? Maybe can I see you and Dad one of these days? No. Hang up on me. It's never going to happen. Get it through your head. You have to accept it. You have to accept no for an answer. And then she'd hang up on me. So when my ex, she she was telling me that she wanted my mom's help, and I'm trying to get a hold of my mom, and my mom won't answer. Like usual, she has me blocked. So it's frustrating. So then because I'm already frustrated, I'm with my ex in her apartment, and I keep her there, and I'm like, I want to see who you're text messaging. Who's this guy Jared who you're Snapchatting? And then my ex calls my mom, and my mom's like, she gets mad at me, and she tells me I have to leave, and she stops giving me money. So, and like I said, at the beginning, when my ex wasn't responding to my text, I tell my mom, like, Mom, can you please, talk to my ex? I call my mom, and then my mom's like, Ryan, she clearly doesn't like you. When people don't want anything to do with you, you have to accept that. She doesn't like you. She doesn't want anything to do with you. You have to accept it. And again, this stems from when the shooting machine messed up my shot. My grandpa comes in, Ryan, you have to, your dad doesn't want to help you with your shot. You have to accept it. My dad was helping me with my shot. He was telling me to do the wrong thing. So, and then my mom's like, yeah, you have to accept it. She developed a hatred for me. But my grandpa even says that my mom expresses dualistic software. And I told my grandpa how my mom would tell me, we're never going to see you. You have to accept that. My grandpa would say, that's problematic. That's predator-prey software. He said she's very immature. But anyways, so like when my ex wouldn't respond to me, my mom's telling me, Ryan, you're too mentally ill to have a girlfriend. You're too mentally ill to have a baby. That's what I told her when I first told her that she was pregnant, that my ex was pregnant. I was hoping that the baby would get my mom and dad to see me again. But my mom was like, no, it's never going to happen. You just have to accept that. So then, like I said, my ex, I made the mistake. I got upset with my ex's daughter because my ex told me that she's pregnant. She has a short cervix. I need to take care of her. This was when she was 4 months pregnant. I need to take care of her for the rest of the pregnancy. Because she needs to be on bed rest. So I was like, okay, I'll do that. But then I'm taking care of her, and her daughter is acting crazy. Her daughter kicks her in the stomach. I get upset, and then the daughter is pointing for me to leave the apartment, and I put the daughter outside. And again, I shouldn't have done that. I got angry, and and instead I should have stayed calm, and I just should have told my ex, hey, listen, it's too, you need to be on bed rest, and you can't take care of your daughter and be on bed rest at the same time. But instead of doing that, I got upset, and I got frustrated, and I put the daughter outside. So then, the next day, I'm trying to message my ex again, and because I told my ex before I left, I said, you have to swear to me that tomorrow I'll be able to see you, because she said that next day she was going to be with her baby dad. I said, you have to swear to me that tomorrow I'm going to be able to see you, because she told me in order for the baby to survive, in order for the baby to survive, I need to be taking care of her. So I knew that I made a mistake of putting the daughter outside because I was upset, but I was like, I told my ex, like, I know that for the baby to survive, I need to be taking care of you. You're on bed rest. So please just, I'm apologize about what happened, but we need to find a way for, maybe your family, or we need to tell your, because she was keeping it a secret that she was pregnant from her family and from her baby dad. So I was saying, you have to tell your baby dad that you're pregnant, and you have to tell your family so that someone can help take care of your daughter. So then I go to then the next day, like I said, I'm trying to message my ex, and she's not responding. And again, she's done this the whole pregnancy because she doesn't respect me. So I'm frustrated, and I'm like, I don't want to have to deal with this stress, because I'm concerned, because I knew that she can't be taking care of her daughter by herself and be on bed rest. So I'm like, I'm telling her, please respond to me. What are you doing not responding to me? Again, but it's a sign of disrespect. It's a sign of an immaturity. She's pregnant with my baby, and she's not responding to my texts. So that's when I went to her daughter's school to talk to the principal, and I told the people at the principal's office what was going on, and how she was pregnant, and how she had to be on bed rest, but she's also taking care of her daughter, and she can't do both at the same time. And I was telling them that her baby dad, the daughter's dad, needs to know this, so he can know what's going on. So can you please get me in touch with the daughter's dad? But they wouldn't get me in touch with the daughter's dad. So then I talked to her boss, and I asked the boss if he can give my ex in-home services, because I was afraid, because my ex wasn't responding to me, and I knew that she had to be on bed rest, so I'm afraid. You know, I'm afraid that she's moving around with her daughter. So then, as I said, finally I get in touch with my ex because I put her stuff on online telling everybody what's going on. Because I'm getting sick of being disrespected and her not responding to me. And also, like I said, I was afraid that she was going to get me in trouble for putting her daughter outside. So I had to tell people my side of the story, that I've been the one who's being mistreated, that I'm the one who's the fucking victim in this situation, which I was. And then, so then my ex calls me, "You went to my daughter's school." Oh! She's the one who's been disrespecting me the whole time, who's been Snapchatting other guys, who's been acting crazy the whole pregnancy. I was the one who's being good the whole pregnancy. I wanted to help out. I wanted my daughter to survive, or my baby to survive. So then, like I said, she ended up giving me a restraining order. And when I got the restraining order, in my mind, I'm thinking, damn it. Now my baby's going to die because she told me that she needed me to take care of her, because she said no one's going to take care of her during the pregnancy. I'm the only one who could take care of her, because she needs someone to take care of her while she's on bed rest, because she has a short cervix. So she needed to be on bed rest. And she can't take care of her daughter and be on bed rest at the same time. So I was afraid. So that's when but on the restraining order, she put down her ex's name and she put down her family's name. So then I go and I try to talk to her ex, or her baby dad. And then the baby dad tells me that, she's a liar and she's a bad person. She's a drug addict and all that stuff. And then I go to try to talk to her family. And like I said, one of her family members answers the phone, and I talk to her for a little bit. And then she says that she's going to talk to her sister. But then I continue to try to call them, and none of them respond. So then I go to her now the reason, and I sent all their family members what was going on, because in my mind I was thinking my ex is going to tell them all that I'm schizophrenic and I'm crazy. And like I said, before this, after I had got upset that she was Snapchatting the Jared guy, my ex messaged me and she said, "Ryan, me and your mom," because like I said, I stayed at her place and I was upset, and I was like, I want to see who you're Snapchatting. I want to talk to him because I want to know what's going on. Is she having sex with another guy while she's pregnant with my baby? I wanted to know this. So then she calls my mom and she tells my mom, "Marla, Ryan is not letting, he's not leaving my place." So then I ended up leaving the place, but then she messages me. My ex messaged me later after she had ghosted me again for a while, and she says, "Ryan, me and your mom want the real Ryan back. You're mentally ill. You need to start taking medicine, and you're never going to see your baby unless you take medicine." Like I said, and so then I showed her the papers from the psychiatrist who my mom forced me to see, where the psychiatrist said, "I do not have mental illness. I have family problems." The doctor said that my mom had mental illness. The doctor said my mom has mental problems. He said she has a personality disorder. And because he heard my mom talking to me. And like I said, when my mom was talking to the doctor, this is what my mom said. She said, "I don't want anything to do with him. I hate him. I want him out of my life. I want him to be independent." And again, my mom thought that she was doing what my grandpa taught. Because in high school, my grandpa came in, my grandpa was like, "Well, Ryan really wants his independence." And after I discovered the quadrant model, my grandpa was like, "Well, Ryan really wants his independence. He didn't really discover the theory of everything. He just made this up so he can stay dependent. What he really wants is independence." So my mom misinterpreted that as, okay, make him independent. Get him out of our lives. Never talk to him again. Be cold and callous and be a bitch to him. And never talk to him and be hateful toward him. So my ex, so when my mom was talking to the psychiatrist, my mom was saying this to the psychiatrist, "I hate him. I want him out of my life." And then the psychiatrist told my mom, "Hey, he doesn't have a mental illness. You clearly have a personality disorder." And she said, "You need to start talking to your son more respectfully, and you're the problem." So the psychiatrist wrote in the papers, "Ryan has no mental illness. He has family problems." And what she was saying is that his mom has a mental illness. So my ex was on my mom, my ex and my mom become friends. My ex is like, "Ryan, unless you start taking medicine, you're never going to see your baby." So when I was trying to talk to my ex's family, because my ex put their names on the restraining order, I was messaging them and I was saying, "Hey guys, I'm not the problem here. Your daughter was cheating on me, Snapchatting another guy. She lied about going to a party," because I wanted them to know that I'm not a bad guy. and that, you know, if my ex was saying that I had like schizophrenia or I had a mental issue, that they would listen to me and they'd be like, hey, listen, you were acting bad to him. Now, you know, you need someone to take care of you. Let him take care of you for the rest of the pregnancy, and so we can save the baby. But the family didn't respond. Only one of the family members responded to me, and after that, they all blocked me. Because my ex probably told them, he's schizophrenic, he's mentally ill. She probably said all this fucking slander about me. So then, I can't get a hold of the family. So now I'm really freaking out because I'm thinking in my mind, my ex is definitely going to get an abortion because she said that I need to take care of her. No one's going to take care of her during the pregnancy. And she's not responding to me. And she's taking care of her daughter. So I'm very concerned that she's going to get an abortion at this point. So I'll continue.